Hello there, dear loving souls. Welcome back to part 3 on the topic today of communication from universe. This is all about the messages from the spirit world because this is part 3. I am mindful of the time. I appreciate that. Of course, the first part was relatively short, but part 2 was really long. And likewise, the camera battery is running out of juice. So I'm going to try and keep part 3 as simple as possible or as quick as possible. So I'm just going to get a couple of oracle cards. So let's just jump into the intuition first. You know, we talked a lot about the intuition on the spiritual category in part 2, and if you haven't watched part 2, I suggest you genuinely watch it and maybe grab a piece of paper and pen and, you know, note some things down that resonate with you in terms of some practical tips when it comes to you know, what tools you may use, the practical tips you may use in order to understand communication from the universe and, you know, the language of the universe, if you will. So let's have a look. Let's now delve into our angels and archangels and guardians to please show us the right cards that we need to see on the subject matter of communication from the universe. And just trust in the fact that, you know, these beautiful oracle cards will have the message that we all need to hear from the spirits, from the angels, from God and Asna, and from our ascended masters. There we go. Oh, here we go. The card that popped through is the card Wounded, and it's all about effectively a situation in your life when you are when you're wounded, as in your resilience might be down, physical health issues, perhaps mental health issues, emotional or spiritual level, you might be really down and you feel like you've got no more energy to give to try and resolve a situation or a way to you know, move forward. You don't know how, but you also don't have the energy to do something. And so that for me is just quite clear to say that you might be in that situation, and as a result you might be asking the universe for some help and assistance, or, you know, planet Earth, or you might be praying to your ascended masters, whoever you resonate with, or God, and just trust that the universe will come back to you with a response or an answer even during those very challenging times. But what I'm trying to get at, as well as what message I'm receiving, is it's not only in those times of pain and wounds and struggles that you can communicate with, with your universe, with the universe. You can communicate and engage and receive messages from the universe at any point in time, including when you're feeling good and happy and loved and cheerful, you know, day to day, because it doesn't matter. It's not just the times of negativity or low frequency vibes. Most important, I think, what I have found anyway, learned, is that energy of give and receive I mentioned in part 1, is that the giving is the request. We have the freedom of choice to engage, to request, to ask the question, and the more we engage, the more we initiate the conversation, the more we ask, the more we will receive back. So yeah, that's that one. Now the other one that I'm seeing on this card is so wings of birds. So as I mentioned, communicating with animals. The birds, funny enough, I did give an example in part 2 of a bird flying into your home, right? So that's a real confirmation as to those sorts of signs, random things happening like that, or animals that you might see, birds or insects. The other one I'm seeing is leaves from a plant, a couple of seedlings there, so plants as well. I was very clear in that one in part 2, hopefully, that every single different plant has its own purpose and different meaning. So I read as to what they actually do, but also the spiritual meaning behind it, perhaps. Just Google that. I'm also reminded of the season of autumn in this card. I'm just, you know, the leaves are falling down. Now, that's, for me, it's a season of change, transformation, obviously going from summer to winter, transformation, harvesting sometimes, abundance, but winds of change. That's the other thing I'm getting from this card. So seasons, obviously I mentioned seasons, or Mother Earth, just trust in the universe and the different seasons and the passions that happen from time to time. Likewise, sorry, I know this is not the seasons that I'm talking about, but I saw the image of the moon and the sun. So even those daily cycles or week to week cycles, month to month, you know, the lunar calendar, for example, that could be messages or something behind that phenomenon that will have a resonance to you, perhaps, or an answer to you. So reading as to you know, where the moon is at, which zodiac it's in, is it a full moon, is it a new moon, what's happening in the skies, that kind of stuff might be actually helpful. Now, for some reason I got that, so I'm going to mention that from that card. Alright, is there a message? I might just as well grab the message from the guidebook. Okay, so it's also page 78, so I'm just going to stop a little bit as to mention the numerology side of it. Sorry, 78 and 79. So 78 is in the content, so I'll talk about 78. So 7 is a spirituality number. 8 is very much our infinite, eternal soul, infinite possibilities. And between 7 and 8, that's a very spiritual combination of numbers. So perhaps for you, you might want to revisit the spiritual category of part 2 that I was talking about. Now 7 and 8 together make 15, 1 and 5 making 6, which is all about harmony, balance, childhood memories perhaps, home belonging, anything of that. So memories, we talked a bit about memories, as well as feeling harmonious, you know, going back to the emotions as to how you feel. So something might be in there for you. Okay, so the message from the intuition card on Wooded is, give yourself time to heal. Be gentle, be kind. Emotionally, physically or spiritually, you are in need of healing. It's a time to seek wellness. Allow your pain space and give yourself time to heal. Acknowledging that you're in pain, that you have been carrying wounds for a long time, is the first step. You have held these wounds for so long, and they're no longer needed. It's time to set them free, to stop hurting yourself and allowing others to hurt you. It's time to protect and balance yourself. Healing takes time. Move gently forward. Be open to accepting help from others. Be open to being loved by others. Seek out those who can help you on your healing journey. When you're tuned into your inner wisdom, these people may just appear. And the signs are healing, help, boundaries, balance, protection, and ghost light. And I really like that this card has come through into our reading at this point in time, because I actually think in that message we've got a little bit of every single one of the categories I mentioned in part 2. It started off with talking about emotional, physical, and spiritual elements, and that you need healing, physical pain, emotional struggles, allowing connections or people in your life to help you heal, so actually receiving messages from others, as well as accepting love and healing, which touches upon the emotional side of things. And it said, listen to your inner wisdom, you know, the spiritual side. So I think this is actually a perfect little card from the intuition deck, ironically, or that was a great synchronicity there that has come through in order to help us you know, get some message from the spirit world on this topic. And now I just want to get a card from the Energy and Spirit Oracle Guidebook, please, my darling spirit guides and guardian angels. Please show us a card to the audience members if there's anything else I can mention on the subject today of communication with the universe. You know, obviously this is one practice that you may use in your life. Whether or not you work with cards, you might be working with other tools, you know, alphabet, words, letters, numbers, dice, you know, numerology. Here we go. And number 37 has come through, and the card is creation, and it's a glorious card, perfect for us today. Now 3, let's just talk about numerology for a moment. 3 and 7. So 3 is all about think about the Holy Trinity of love, but in my world, but there's a lot more to it. Holy Trinity of love that I speak on this channel is about thinking love, speaking love, and doing love. And of course, with any one of these, that's just how you can address the universe in order to be able to actually get some answers back. So think love, set the intention, or perhaps pray to whoever it is you believe in. Speak love, say it out loud, speak to the universe just like I did. You will have seen me talk to my spirit guides literally as I was shuffling the cards. That's an example. Doing love could be the way you act, or what you do, what you behave, how you carry yourself, or actual doing, writing things down might be an action word, right? You're writing your question down, and you're trusting that the universe will respond to you back. Holy Trinity of love. So that's the other three. The other three meaning is ascension, elevation, community or groups or other people. So there might be something in there. Seven, as I mentioned before, is a very spirituality, meditation, angels, 7 chakras. Okay, so 7 chakras, the ones that we discussed, might come through. Or something about, the Holy Trinity of love and spirituality. Perhaps ultimately it's all about the love, or the power of love. And 3 and 7 together make 10, which is a lovely kind of number all about renewal, rejuvenation, new beginnings, new creation, which is all this card about, something new, or completion in the end. Alrighty, this card is all about soul expression and something new. Soul expression and something new. So part of the communication with the universe is obviously tapping into your higher self, your own spirit and your own soul, in order to find out the answers. Here we have a lady who is happy and cheerful, which is fantastic. She's experiencing joy, and she's watering the flower in the pot. Obviously communication with the flowers or the symbols. Here we've got white daisies, I believe. Perhaps Google the spiritual meaning of daisies, and also growth and development. So there's something about, communication with, perhaps Mother Nature. There's trees all around, so perhaps spending some time in the nature. And there might be getting, because my ear literally rang as I was thinking about this card. Spending some time in nature, grounding yourself, may allow you to have a slightly clearer channel of communication. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Is that you might be more receptive to messages from the universe when you are in the nature or doing something with planet Earth, like gardening, touching the soil, hanging out in the parks or nature or body of water, anything of that sort. Yeah, alrighty, let's just read a message from the guidebook. There might be something here. I'm sure there's something here for us, my darling friends. Here we go. 37 creation. It's all about soul expression and something new. This card heralds exciting new creative beginnings. From business plans to personal projects or family matters, your soul is longing for you to create something new. This can include expanding your family. If you've been thinking about having a baby, adopting a child, this would be a propitious time. There may even be a new romantic relationship in store for you, possibly with someone who already has children. Consider any action needed and invoke the assistance of all your loving angels and guides. This is also a good time for putting your creative ideas into your work or personal projects. If you've always had a penchant for some form of artistry, make sure you prioritize that endeavor now. Whether you're an artist, writer, composer, chef, or fashion designer, let yourself engage in those activities with abandon. And if you've been thinking about starting a new business, it's time to focus your efforts on that. Whatever the project, plant the seeds of your creative energy now and enjoy the growth of something new. I love it. I just generally like the creative message behind this whole card, and I think it's definitely another kind of message that even if you're not typical artist or musician or fashion designer or whatever, each one of us as a co-creator, because we're a loving soul, we're co-creators. So trust in whatever comes your way from the universe, and if you feel like expressing it through a particular channel or medium, to literally manifest it in the physical world, go for it. Trust your intuition. You might be encouraged to actually, doodle something or draw something, or literally get a canvas and paint something, or go ahead and take some photos, some like nice photography. Or you might hear a sound or music and you want to express it, through a musical instrument that you know how to play, or create a meal if you're a chef. So the trust in whatever you're drawn to, and perhaps there's something that sort of ringing at you from the inside that is calling into your creative side of you, and perhaps it's time to express it in a most creative manner. Start that new project, plant the seeds now, go ahead and do some gardening if that's something you might be into or something you're drawn to. I did actually create a video series on starting your own garden, so feel free to watch that one if you are inspired to. But also the children, there was a big emphasis on children and family, and I think there is something about youth and memories from childhood, that joy and love and happiness that we all hopefully have had during our childhood moments in our life, and how perhaps a lot of our universal or communication from the universe, we might have even been more receptive when we were younger, and perhaps it's time to tap into those things that we used to be able to pick up naturally, without questioning it, telepathically perhaps, and bring a little bit more of that into our more mature adult life perhaps. And as a result of that, we will start receiving and understanding and be more accepting of the messages that we're receiving from the universe. And the affirmation, I forgot to read the affirmation of this card, is great creativity is blossoming in my life. I'm open to new ideas and actions that expand my soul's expression in the world. I really like that affirmation, and that comment that I'm open to new ideas and actions reminds me of the give and receive aspect of the energy that I mentioned earlier on in the video series, which is you need to be send out the request, or you need to give the request, or kind of like an instruction even, or request a query that you're open to receiving. I'm open to new ideas, and then you become aware, and hence you can receive if you've given the request or become open to it. So with that in mind, my dear loving souls, hopefully you learned a thing or two from this video series when it comes to communication from the universe. Please comment down below if it resonated with you. Remember, V or the emoji with the 2 fingers would be very helpful. V for valuable. I'm going to wrap it up here. I would appreciate you liking this video series, or perhaps considering subscribing to this channel or sharing it with others if you found it useful. I did make a commitment to donate 22% of my income to charities and noble causes. You might be aware of it. So any of this kind of engagement and activity of liking, sharing, subscribing would be greatly appreciated, because that means more people can watch it and listen to it and learn from it, and we will then multiply the love together, my dear loving souls. I hope you all have a lovely rest of the week. All the very best, and I will see you in my other video series. Bye for now.